What is up, guys? It is the Bluebloods coming back at you with another 2-minute drill episode, man. And y'all know what we do on Mondays. There is no other thing that we're ever going to do on a Monday other than talk about Jackson State football, man. They make another statement. I mean, just when you thought Coach Prime and them boys down in Jackson State couldn't be any more impressive, moved to 4-0, a 43-7 win over Mississippi Valley State today. As you know, got to record this the night before. But Coach Prime and the Tigers of Jackson State televised on ESPN2 to the whole world, man, in Veterans Memorial Stadium down in Jackson. Third straight weekend, man. They look like the best team on the field. And the opponents across from them up to this point haven't even looked like they belong in the same classification. I know there's FBS, FCS, D2, D3, NAIA, all that. I mean, Jackson State looks like a D1 team that's stuck in FCS right now. I mean, they are smacking people. And, whether it's the chilling speech by Coach Prime right before the game or the spiritual dancing after halftime that he posted on his Instagram, where he just has this team fired up, he has them motivated, he has them ready to go no matter what. They go into every single game, like I said last week, thinking like that they are going to dominate every single play, every single time. The keys are the same, man. It's discipline, playmaking, be opportunistic, and play smart. And they do it week in and week out. They did have a late fumble, which I know, Dion was not very happy about. But man, a 43-7 win, you cannot be you almost can't be too much more impressive than that. And they scored on their first 5 possessions, guys. And it included a 95-yard drive to kick off the game. The first possession, 95 yards right down the field, and just I believe 13 plays. My biggest takeaway this time, listen, we're going to get to my boy. Y'all know I am the biggest Jalon Jones fan there is in probably the entire country, other than maybe his family or something like that. But I am a huge Jalon Jones fan, man. But the defense suffocating again, man. 270 total yards allowed to the Delta Devils. They allowed under 4 yards per play. They forced 4 turnovers. And my biggest takeaway from this defense, we'll get to the secondary, but that defensive line probably had their best game of the year. 5 sacks. They got multiple strip sacks, multiple forced fumbles, one of those taken back for a touchdown, man. I was so impressed with this defensive line. They were relentless getting off their blocks, relentless getting to the quarterback. And when they got there, they made that quarterback pay. They made the other team pay if they didn't execute perfectly on defense. And then, you look at someone like Dalen Dunn, led the team today with 2 sacks. He was outstanding, man, all over the field. And they had a bunch of players have like half sacks, 1 sack here. This team exhibited today, guys. They have multiple players that can get after the quarterback. And like I said, once they get there, they're going to cause issues for you because Coach Prime and these defensive coaches have these boys going in there saying, if we get to your quarterback, if we get in that right position and you make a mistake, we are making you pay. There's nothing more devastating than you have a drive going, you give up 1 sack, and that ball's going the other way for a touchdown. It's crushing to a team, and they have opportunistic DBs. So even if you just get pressure and they force their quarterback into a bad decision, they make the wrong decision, and Jackson State adds on some more pressure to you, and so I give them kind of the idea I think about them playing as is, and they just have that foot on your neck at the beginning. They get right there, and then just they don't just gradually put pressure. They just smash it in, and then all of a sudden you're suffocating and you can't recover. You're just like, man, you've taken everything out of me. There's nothing I can do. And in the second quarter, that's kind of what they did to Mississippi Valley State. 23-0 outscored in the second quarter. It's 30-0 at halftime, and Mississippi Valley is like, okay, what do we do now? I mean, there's no coming back from 30-0 against a talented team like this. All the win was taken out. That is how Coach Prime and these boys are doing it down there in Jackson State. The defense, man, just the whole thing, fast, physical, opportunistic, like I said. And Dion has them looking to they're getting better and better each week. I know, listen, I know there's some videos out there right now saying that, hey, they haven't really played anybody yet. I don't care. Every single week they're getting better. So when they finally face those teams, which I'm going to cover later, that could challenge them or are going to give them their biggest competition, they're going to be ready. I think they're forcing teams into uncomfortable situations and they're forcing them into mistakes while their offense is cruising along, putting points and points and points up repeatedly until you don't know what to do with yourself. And listen, we're going to move on here just a little bit. This is going to be a recurring segment, man. I absolutely love this kid. Listen, I'm a huge, we covered, just college football as a whole. It's not a lot of people out here covering Jackson State, which is a shame because this is one of the most exciting things that I've covered. I mean, I'm having more fun covering this than I did any time during the, normal season. But Jalon Jones is probably one of my favorite players to watch. I mean, he's right up there with just exciting like Devontae Smith and them. He deserves his own show because he is that good. He's performed at the highest level all season. He repeated that today. He struggled toward the end of the game, which is kind of concerning, but he didn't look 100% to me at the end. I don't know if he got a little banged up there, tweaked something, so I'm kind of interested in that, but he was still 14 for 27, threw for 250 yards, 3 passing touchdowns, 42 yards rushing, and another rushing touchdown. Almost 300 yards of offense again. The 250 was a career high in passing, and the 42 yards rushing also, I believe, was a career high. That first touchdown, I don't have rights to the highlights. I don't want to get this video flagged on YouTube, but the first touchdown, just go watch some highlights. That first touchdown, Jalon Jones backs up, he gets some pressure, and he takes up off the middle. Like he hit like the NOS turbo boost, man. That kid was faster, and then he saw some traffic and he just beat them to the point and was physical, and he was going to get to the end zone and burned everybody. It was impressive. He looked like a Kyler Murray, a Lamar Jackson, Cam Newton right up the middle, and you were not going to touch him. And his athleticism and speed from the pocket is so impressive. I mean, people forget this kid was a scholarship 4-star athlete that was at Florida under Dan Mullen and probably would be competing with Emory Jones right now for the starting quarterback job at Florida. So, he shows excellent pocket presence, anticipation, and it makes him so explosive when he senses pressure. He's so smart inside the pocket, and it makes him such a unique quarterback to stop. Listen, the narrative's always going to be there, with quarterbacks where it's like, oh, he's just a running quarterback. What can he do there? This kid has proven week in and week out that he's accurate. He's efficient through the air. He can throw the ball. He can get the ball into the end zone through the air. Listen, this kid, Pat tries to pass first, run second, but he is not afraid to use his legs. And when he does, he can be dangerous. He completed over 80% of his passes the first week. So I don't want to hear any narrative that this kid is just another scrambling, running quarterback. This kid is a true pocket passer first that just happens to have the legs to make something happen later in the play. And another thing is, man, there's this narrative that these scrambling quarterbacks, man, they're going to turn the ball over through the air. This kid, another week, no interceptions. So this continues the streak, no interceptions. So he has almost 600 yards passing, guys, 11 total touchdowns, no turnovers. And I think that is the key. That is why Jackson State is looking so impressive, because they're forcing these other teams into turnovers with this talented, opportunistic defense. And their offense is very consistent. They can run the ball, they can pass the ball, and they don't turn it over. They had that late fumble by one of their backup running backs. It is what it is, but they don't usually turn it over in key situations, and that is the difference usually. I think Jones could be someone to watch throughout the year, guys. He has the prototypical size at 6'4", 220. He has the accuracy, and he's the true leader of the offense. If this kid's on, Jackson State's on, and it kind of makes me worry for further in the season. If you can shut Jalon Jones down, who can step up? And but the key is, guys, can you stop Jalon Jones? That is the $1 million question for me. This kid is one of my favorite players to watch, and I am so glad. Listen, I wish they would have got to play in the fall. I get all that, but playing in the spring has given teams like Jackson State, like a lot of these other, like these D2 programs, these FCS programs, they've given them I guess, marketability, visibility that they would not have had in the fall. And it's bringing so many eyes to this. I mean, our Jackson State video from last week is one of the most viewed videos, most liked videos, most interactive with videos that we have on our channel. And shout out to y'all for that. I'm glad y'all are interested in this because I think more eyes need to be on this. And listen, if you're listening to this and did not watch this game on ESPN2 at 2 p.m. today, that is a shame on you because this is an excellent team. And if you want quality football, you need to turn on the TV and check this team out. They play next Saturday, guys. Next Saturday, tune in ESPN, I think 3. So just download the ESPN app, log in with your cable provider, and watch that. Another shameless plug for ESPN. But the dudes at Jackson State deserve your attention and deserve your, I guess, word of mouth, man. You need to talk about this team more. And, we're already over 10 minutes because I could talk about Jackson State all day, man. But are they a realistic SWAC contender? Are they a realistic threat to the FCS, playoffs, whatever you want to put? Last week, Jackson State was ranked 52nd in the FCS rankings. That's a 46 spot jump from where they were the week before. So that win over Grambling and all that really helped them. But I expect another big jump this week. I want to see them in, I think, the 20 to 30 range. I think that'd be a perfect range for them. That's about another 20 to 30 spot jump. But I think they need to prove a bit more before we put them in like the top 15 or something like that. Listen, their one win, they're 4-0. Their one win was a forfeit because Alcorn State's not playing this spring, while another win was over a real bad program. I think it's an NAIA program in Edwards Waters. They were just outmatched, 53-0 domination. I think the wins over Grambling and Mississippi Valley are wins that a first-year head coach like Dion can be proud of. I mean, Jackson State is a historically great program, but Deion Sanders is taking it to that next level, and even it's his first year, guys. Let's give him a break. I know Grambling, I think, is 0-2 now. And Mississippi Valley State, this was their first game. They had 2 wins last year, but I still think as a first-year head coach, to win in the fashion he did is really what separates it. It's easy just to go out there and squeak out a win, but he won it in dominant fashion over Mississippi Valley State, Grambling State, a program that's had Jackson State's number. He comes out, switches the tables, gets a huge win there. I put a lot of stock, especially in that Grambling State win. I think that was huge. And looking forward to their schedule, I think the game against Alabama A&M, April 10th, is going to be probably one of their biggest tests. And I think the Prairie View game, March 28th, in 2 weeks, is going to be another giant test for Deion Sanders and this Jackson State team. If they get through those 2 games, this team has a real good chance of going undefeated. I mean, to ask us a team to go with their first-year head coach with a lot of people sitting on the bench is a big ask. But, guys, the thing we're forgetting is the reason these starters are still ready to play, even though they might not be the highest-rated recruits on the team, guess where those 5 4-star transfers that he's been getting are at? It's on the practice squad. These guys are practicing against the best of the best in this conference, and some of the best players in the country. They got Auburn transfers. That they got both the Deion Sanders sons who were probably SEC talent. I know his one son was committed to, I believe, Florida Atlantic. I'm glad he switched to Jackson State, but his other son was to South Carolina, and he was balling. Guys, I'm telling you, these kids for real. They have a bunch of players that are on this practice squad that would be starting right now. So these guys who you see on Saturdays, Sundays playing are going up against the best of the best, and they are ready, and you're seeing that. My biggest questions, though, in these big games coming up, guys, how will Jalon Jones fare against more fundamental defenses? Like I said earlier, I think he's going to be okay, but who can step up in the running game and the wide receiving game to kind of take this offense to the next level? How's that offensive line going to work? And will this defense be able to hold up against some of the more dynamic offenses? I think they will. I love their secondary. I just talked earlier about how their defensive line is kind of meshing together, getting that chemistry. Can the linebackers step up next? And how will this entire team respond to real adversity? They did have a little bit of adversity against Grambling. They ended up coming through okay. I'm talking about you're down 20-0 in the first. Jones comes out, those 2 big interceptions, it's 14-0 like that. How do they respond? I believe, listening to everything Dion's saying, how these kids respond to him, how these kids walk into every game with all that confidence, they're going to be okay. Call me a believer in the Jackson State Tigers right now. And these answers are coming in real life, guys. I mean, right now, Jackson State has a team that you should be proud of, that you should be excited about the future of this program. And I'm going to end it off, man. As Deion Sanders said, why not us? Why not Jackson State? They have the talent, they have the motivation, they have the ability to make waves in the FCS this year and next year and onward. This program is going to be a favorite in the FCS, and this program is most likely going to reach unimaginable heights. And I am so excited for this program. I'm so excited for the SWAC and a lot of these other divisions and programs that usually don't get the shine, the visibility, just the stage to really exhibit how good these players are. So shout out to everyone who's been involved in this. This has been a blast. But guys, I'm gonna go ahead and plug, man. That's a wrap on this. I'm so looking forward to next week, man, that they go down to Montgomery to play Alabama State, man. I moved back up here to Kansas. I wish I was still at Auburn. I wish I still lived in Southern Alabama. I'd be at that game in a heartbeat, man. I am so excited to watch that game next week. But guys, for the 2-minute drill, it's a wrap here, but y'all know what to do. I got to plug real quick. Y'all make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. You guys have been so amazing with that. We have gained so many new listeners, so many new followers, so many, just people interacting with the Blue Bloods. So I love all y'all for that. Make sure to like this video, man. It helps us out. It keeps us in the loop, man. Go ahead, hit that post notification bell at the top right. That way you're notified anytime a 2-minute drill goes out, any of our Big 10 in 31 days, ACC in 20 days, anything like that goes out. We appreciate y'all for listening to us. We put this on for y'all. I love doing this. So if y'all like the Jackson State stuff, I'm going to keep bringing it to you. And if you know someone who hasn't been watching Jackson State and these boys play football this spring, make sure to go tell them, I want to get me a Jackson State hoodie or something to wear on here for Mondays. So I might need to hook myself up there. But guys, for myself, for the Blue Bloods and the 2-minute drill, we are out.